He was just happy and content all the time. He used to sit up and play and laugh, and he had the most contagious laugh. It was just amazing. Anytime Macklen was laughing, everybody in the room was laughing. And he would stare at you, he would look deep into your eyes and decide whether you were worthy of one of his winning smiles. Yeah. When I was pregnant with Macklen, totally normal pregnancy, they did say that they thought he was going to be a really big baby. He arrived 3 weeks early and was still bigger than his brother, who was closer to full term. But everything progressed fine. You know, there were no concerns. But he wasn't hitting milestones like Finley had. And you know, you think, well, every child is different. No one had any concerns. And then it wasn't until he went to his 9-month checkup, well-child visit, that the doctor used the term developmentally delayed. Just so happened that about a week later, we had an appointment with an ophthalmologist, and they did an eye exam, and she said there's an abnormality in both of his eyes, and I think it's worth taking a closer look at. Macklen was diagnosed when he was 10.5 months. Tay-Sachs is a neurodegenerative genetic condition. So a child who started out typical functioning and developing starts to regress. And so where he used to sit up and play with toys, he started falling over, and pretty soon he couldn't sit up anymore, unsupported.
Can I have his arm? Thank you.
We give him all of his fluids and food and medicines through that. The typical lifespan is 3 to 5 years. At this point, it's progressed enough that he's not able to see or hear. He has very little voluntary movement. With Macklen's diagnosis, they don't give you a lot of hope, the doctors, because no one's ever survived. And there's no treatment and there's no cure. We decided early on that our main goal was to keep him comfortable.
My role in Macklen's life is really to just walk with the family through their journey.
We first learned about stepping stones from a friend of ours who was a hospice nurse, but inpatient at Children's. It was just a few weeks after we'd gotten the diagnosis, and she said, you need to call stepping stones. And he did like a couple very subtle little drops at the beginning. We've been working with Lauren for about 2 years now, and she's been great. I talk to her on the phone whenever something comes up. We email about questions. I know that I can always reach out to her. And we backed off the Keppra because we had the EEG last Tuesday.
I come in as a nurse, and I definitely do a lot of symptom management. So as he changes, we really sit down and focus on what family's goals are for him, which with Macklen, it is really keeping him comfortable and giving him the best quality of life possible.
We're doing a lot of suctioning now. Normally we've just been using a little cloth to wipe his mouth, but he's spitting a lot more out because when he's doing those drops, he's not swallowing. It's been helpful to have that consistency over the last couple of years, knowing that Lauren can tell when something's a little off with him or when something has changed in him. That's been really helpful.
Out of all the places I've worked, this is the job that's brought me back to compassionate nursing. You get to connect with people that are hurting, that are going through something hard, and who really need that.
I would be struggling without stepping stones. We'd probably be in and out of the hospital a lot more, back and forth to Seattle Children's. Macklen doesn't like being in the car, so being able to have someone come to us is incredible. When Safe Crossings comes here, it's great because it's easy. I don't think Finley knows who she is or why she's here necessarily. It's just somebody coming to see him, and it's going to be all about him for that hour. She just meets Finley where he is. You know, if he wants to play, she'll play games with him, and she just kind of works in the emotional words and meanings and all of that into whatever they're playing that day. Stepping Stones and Safe Crossings provides an invaluable service. It would be very different and very difficult to walk this journey without their support.
My hopes for Macklen and this family would be that they can fully enjoy the life that he has left, that he can live it out and be comfortable, that family can enjoy special moments together, and that they just feel supported along the way, not alone.
We need to support Stepping Stones so that everyone can receive their services.
I think hope feels like a space to breathe. It feels like they're not carrying this burden on their own.
We don't know what's going to happen at the end. Stepping Stones definitely gives us comfort and the hope that we can have him pass peacefully at home.